I'm Junior from Here For You Life Coaching, and we'd like to say aloha to you. We're on 6 platforms internationally. Good morning, Jay. We're on 6 platforms internationally, and oh, I see. Okay, there we go. All right. Okay, we're on 6 platforms internationally, and we can't mention them for various reasons because we don't want to mention each other on each other's platforms. So there you go. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Nice to see you guys this morning. So, there we go. All right. Okay. Now, the conscious, subconscious, and superconscious. Okay, what are we talking about? It's your conscious mind, it's your subconscious mind, and the superconscious mind. Okay, so consciousness is the waking state of awareness. Okay, so like when you're conscious, you're thinking thoughts. Your conscious mind thinks like a million thoughts a day. Your most dominant thoughts go into your subconscious. Okay, so your conscious mind, like things like sensory perception, things like you know familiar everyday decisions that you make, like it governs like voluntary actions and interactions with the external world. Okay, with all the time, you know. So a belief is a thought you keep thinking, and when you keep doing that, okay, you reinforce that thought or that belief, and that thought becomes a belief. Okay, now that happens in your subconscious. So if you want to look at it real simple, okay, so Einstein said, if you can't explain something simply, you don't understand it. Okay, so we're gonna break it down like real small, small little chunks, okay? So if you want to look at it like a computer, because most of us are familiar, okay, so your conscious mind is actually can be looked at as like your operating system, okay, or your processor. Okay, now your subconscious can be looked at like your external drive, where the programs are stored, or your hard drive. Okay, so it's either an external drive or hard drive, but where your programs are stored. Now, when this happens, good morning. Good morning. You're very, very welcome. So when you start, having these dominant thoughts, okay, let's say that you're focused on something. You could be focused on God, okay? So God is real, God is real, God is real. And you start praying to God and you start believing in God, and now God is God, and now it's a firm belief, okay? Because you keep thinking this, or maybe you've been told this. Now, it doesn't have to be God. I'm just using that as an example, okay? So it doesn't have to be that, but anything that you keep thinking, okay? Now, a belief is a thought you keep thinking, so now it's a belief, right? So now what your subconscious does, okay, is it influences your thoughts and behaviors and forms your paradigm, or the way you see the world. So your paradigm, you hear people talk about paradigm shifts. You go, well, you need to shift your paradigm. You need to shift your paradigm. What are they talking about? Well, you need to change the way you see things in order for those things to change. Okay, so we're talking about perception. Okay, but that's part of your paradigm. Okay, so your paradigm, let's take the tree now. Okay, I always use the tree. So the roots of the tree are your core beliefs. The roots of the tree. Okay, now the trunk of the tree, okay, is your paradigm. The fruits of the tree are your actions based upon your paradigm, or the way you see the world based upon your beliefs. Okay, the fruits of the tree are your actions. Those give you results. So is it possible to just do like random acts and change results? Yeah. But if you want them to be consistent, if you want them to, let's say, occur regularly without you even thinking about it, then you need to commit it to your subconscious. And how do we do that? Affirmations, meditation, vocalization, and visualization. Okay, now we talk a lot about the conscious and the subconscious. What about the superconscious? Okay, so this is a higher, expanded state of awareness. When we're talking superconscious, we're talking, you can talk about it as God, you can talk about it as whoever you believe in, if it's a God. The superconscious can be referred to as source, the universe. You could say you could put all of these labels on that, on the superconscious. But this is where intuition comes from, creativity, spiritual insight, okay? All the things that you may regard as miracles, okay? If you really want to see a miracle, go look in the mirror. That's where you'll see the biggest miracle, okay? It's a miracle that you're here. It's a miracle that you're a human being. It's also a very, very high blessing that you're a human. Okay, so sometimes we take that for granted, right? Sometimes we take a lot of things for granted. Why do we do that? Well, because we're used to it. We live with us. We live in here, okay? But God lives in here. The superconscious lives in here. The conscious lives in here. The subconscious lives in here. There is no out there out there. What's out there? Well, there's just nature and other stuff from other people's in here out there. That's all that's out there. Everything else is in here. Your solutions for everything is in here. Do you have a problem? Look in here. But human beings have eyes, so we look out there. So we think the solution is over there, over there, over there. The solution is in here. The solution is always in here. And this is why the process is ask, believe, receive. It's in every holy book. Every holy book. In the Bhagavad Gita, okay? It's in the Quran. It's in the Bible. It's in the Torah. It's in the Vedas. Okay? It's in Buddhist writings. Okay? But it's in here. So how do you seek? Well, seeking might look like this. It might look like this. People think in order to seek, right, they need eyes. You don't need your eyes to seek. I spent over 30 years playing music with a blind man. And I saw him manifest things just because he believed it. Things showed up. Just because he believed it, because he applied his thinking. He didn't have eyes. He couldn't see. He had eyes, but they were blind. But he didn't have eyes to seek with, is what I'm saying. And a lot of times we would sit with our eyes closed. I would close my eyes. And we would have discussions. And he would ask me, when I first met him, I was 24 years old. And we had this, we were playing music in this bar years and years and years ago. And I was still teaching. I was teaching on the weekends and doing this, music on the side thing. And so, and I was working during the week at a corporate job. And we're sitting in the booth, right? And 2 booths behind us, this guy is talking. And so my blind friend tells me, "You hear that guy?" And I go, "What guy?" He goes, "That guy in the back of the room." And I said, "No." He goes, "Close your eyes." I closed my eyes. As soon as I closed my eyes, I heard the guy. And I go, "Oh, that guy. Okay." He goes, "Yeah, he's full of crap." That's what he said. That's what we try to keep it clean on the lives, but that's exactly what he said. And then with my eyes closed, I could hear him. When my eyes were open, I couldn't hear him. So I was trained by this guy, right? He used to have me sit in front of a stereo. And he goes, "Do you hear the violins?" We listen to the music. "You hear the violins?" I'm like, "Yeah." And my eyes are closed. My eyes are closed like this. He said, "Do you hear the French horn?" no. He goes, it's on the left side. And then I would pay attention to the left side. And then I go, oh yeah, okay, I hear it. And we used to go through this and go through this and go through this. Okay, what this started to do was make my hearing senses sharper. And the reason why it's so funny is because I started to hear things that the ordinary person couldn't hear, because I worked on my hearing, because we were practicing listening. So pretty soon I found myself working at this radio station, producing radio and television commercials. And I would do these little things in the commercials, put these little sound effects in the commercials. And I would ask people, do you hear that? I put that in the commercial, you hear that? And they would listen and they would go, no, I don't know. I'll go, okay, never mind. And then it occurred to me that some of the things that I could hear and some of the things that I could notice, because I trained with a blind man, nobody else could hear. And they would have to really learn how to listen in order to hear those little things. But they're little things. So my point is, when you work on any one of your senses, they sharpen. Okay? When you work on awareness, your awareness sharpens. Your awareness comes from the superconscious. The superconscious is in your right brain, the right hemisphere of your brain. So you have two hemispheres, right and left. So the left is logic. And there's a reason why Jesus sits at the right hand of the Father and not the left. It's esoteric knowledge. Go look it up. It's because intuition comes from the right brain. Creativity comes from the right brain. Okay, so the superconscious transcends ordinary reality, ordinary perception. Okay, it's where you can access universal knowledge. Oh, universal knowledge, what is that? You were born with infinite knowledge. Don't confuse knowledge with education. They're two separate things. When you educate someone, you are saying, all right, we're doing this way. And this is the way we're going to do this, step by step by step by step. And when you complete this process, you are now educated. But you're born with infinite knowledge, infinite intelligence. Everything in the universe is intelligent. The first universal law tells us that everything is connected. Everything is connected. You are expression. You are an expression of God, of the superconscious, of consciousness. Everything is energy in the universe. Everything is energy. Good morning. When you start to, good morning, Kath. When you start to see things as energy, and you start to look at things as energy, life changes. If you're listening to me and you're going, huh? What? Okay, you're not ready yet. And it's okay. But start looking at things as energy. So if you put your hand under the right kind of microscope, it will show you your energy. You will see that nothing is static. Nothing is static in your hand. And then the debate comes, is this really matter? Is this really solid matter? If you can look through it, if you can see through it, is it still solid matter? Well, it is of sorts. But you are an expression of the superconscious. And the superconscious comes from within, from in here. And God lives in here. The kingdom is within. Everything is inside. With the superconscious and a sense of unity with the greater reality, meaning that everything is connected. Okay, everything is connected. That means everything affects each other somehow. So in manifestation, or if you want to call it goal setting, you don't put it together that you did something good in the morning, and then in the afternoon when something good happens to you, you don't put it together that, oh, this happened because of this. When you speak against somebody or you're mean to somebody, and then in the afternoon when you lose a contract or you lose a client or you lose some money or something bad happens or you can't start your car, you don't put these things together. Why? Because they happened at different times. So how do these things happen? Conscious, subconscious, superconscious. Those three things. So let's say, for example, you get upset with someone. And let's say you express anger. Your subconscious is listening. Let's say you do it again with somebody else. Your subconscious is listening. Pretty soon you start feeling like it's so easy to get angry. Like the littlest thing sets you off. The littlest thing makes you mad. Gets you upset, makes you angry, gets you irritated. You can't stand it, right? This is your subconscious learning to be angry. Anger is not your natural state. You were born in love. Now, on this side, at the extreme good is love. At the extreme bad is fear. All negative emotions are rooted in fear. So how do you stop fearing? If you're experiencing some fear or something relative to fear or related to fear or of fear, how do you do that? I think you know what I'm going to say. Affirmations, meditation, vocalization, visualization. Now, you don't have to do all four unless you really want to materialize it quickly. Or let's say it another way, if you really want to accomplish the goal quickly. Or let's say it another way, if you really want to manifest this quickly. Manifestation sounds pretty mystical. But it's very scientific, it's very logical. Actions create results. Beliefs, the roots of the tree, form the paradigm, the trunk of the tree. The fruits are the actions which turn into results. You will know them by their fruits. You will know them by their actions. Because their actions will tell you how they see the world. And how they see the world will tell you what they believe. You don't need to be a psychic to figure this out. It's very simple. Yet a lot of people don't look at it like that, so they don't see it. When you start to look at these things, you go, oh, now I understand. Now I understand why he's like that. Now I understand why she's like that. Now I understand why I'm like this. How do I change it? Well, you could start with one of these. I am so happy and grateful now that I am happy and grateful. What will that accomplish? Well, Number one, you're going to feel happier in 2 weeks. Number two, you're going to be expressing more gratitude and feeling more grateful. If you write it down once a day for 2 weeks, how long does it take to shift this thing entirely? The beginnings of it probably in 66 days. Can you write it for 2 months? A lot of people don't write because they start writing, right? And they get to like the 5th, 6th day, and then they go, this is never gonna work. Put down the pen. What happens? Well, it's like a seedling coming up from the ground, and it's on its way, just ready to break soil. And you go, this is not gonna work. And it goes away. That's like rubbing the lamp of the genie, and the genie just starts coming out of the bottle, and you go, never mind. Genie goes back in the bottle. That's a metaphor. Okay. So metaphorically, sometimes we start out with good intentions. But when we don't see results immediately, and in today's society, it's even worse. Okay. When we don't see immediate results, what do? We get frustrated. We throw in the towel. We switch to something else. Every time you switch like that, what happens to the superconscious? The superconscious is like a GPS. Okay. So you know when the GPS says, okay, you go this way, but you know the shortcut and you go this way, the GPS has to recalibrate. It has to recalibrate and go, okay, and map you out going that way. And then the doors open. And then people come into play. And then you meet the right person for whatever it is you're interested in. That's the job of the superconscious. That's what God does. Okay, people ask me, I'm not here to tell you what to believe, so you believe whatever you want to believe. People ask me all the time, they go, Uncle, is God real? I'm like, yeah, God is very real. God is in here. God is in you. Is it the same kind of God that they talk about in the church? Well, kind of, sort of. Kind of, sort of. But church is a business. If they told you everything, why would you need church? The temple is here. The kingdom is here. It's good to share like-mindedness. It's good to congregate with people who believe as you do. If you show me 5 of your closest friends, I can tell you who you are. You've heard that before, right? And the reason is human beings are very adaptable. We're chameleons. We adapt to our environment. So sometimes, if you want to really change something, you need to change your environment. If you're stuck, you need to change your environment. I have women coming to me all the time. I'm stuck in this marriage. I'm stuck in this relationship. They're not forced to be in a marriage. They're not forced to be in a relationship. They're stuck. The prison is here. If you're stuck here, you're stuck in a marriage. If you're stuck here, you're stuck in a relationship. If you're stuck here, you're stuck in your job. If you're stuck here, you're stuck in life. You're just stuck. What does that mean? That means you're experiencing fear. Because your life path goes like this. It unfolds for you from within, not from out there. Life happens for you, not to you. It happens for you, not to you. Okay. Do things happen? Do exterior things happen? Oh, yeah, of course. Of course. But your life path doesn't unfold from out here. It unfolds from in here. Fear, or being stuck, okay, fear slows this process down. And sometimes it'll stop it if it's bad enough. Because when you're fearful, sometimes you can't move. Sometimes you don't know what to do. Sometimes you're feeling anxiety. Sometimes you're feeling guilt or shame, anger, and then you're stuck. So how do you make this work again? How do you free yourself up so that your life path unfolds like this more easily? Affirmations, meditation, vocalization, visualization. If you're willing to do the work, and if you're willing to do all four things, you can accomplish anything. You can accomplish anything. You're a human being. The superconscious is where you get intuitive thought from. It taps in to universal knowledge. And this is why when you're very quiet and you're still, there's a difference between silence and stillness. When you're still, you can ask a question and you will receive the answer. The problem is we don't trust the answers, right? The problem is we feel the answers. You don't hear the answers. You feel them. You feel the answers. And you normally hear it in your voice. The subconscious recognizes your voice over all others. The subconscious recognizes your image above all others. Intuitive thought. My favorite example, you're driving down the street. You get that feeling that you should turn right here. But you have free will. You have that left brain, the left reptilian brain. You have the ego that says, I know better. Never mind. And then you get stuck in the traffic jam. And what do? You say, I knew I should have turned over there. Because you did know. You did know. But you chose to ignore it. And that's what we call ignorance. Ignorance. You ignored it. The answer was there. A lot of people pray, but they don't receive the answer. Not because the answer is not there, because they're so distracted into the physical matrix that they can't hear the answer. They cannot feel the answer. They are numb. Why? Because they're distracted. They are anchored into the physical matrix. What happens in this case? What should you do? There's only one thing to do. Surrender. Who are you surrendering to? You're surrendering to the superconscious. You're saying, okay, I'll listen. Okay, I'll pay attention. Okay, I'll go with that. I'll go with that thought. I'll go with that feeling. That makes sense. I'll try that. Then when you start to do this over and over, and you start to do this more and more, and you get accustomed to following intuitive thought, now you're experiencing divine guidance. And now you are being guided. And when you're being guided, life gets easier. Life gets much easier. Good morning, guys. Let me just go back here and see if we have any questions. If you have any questions, I'll answer them for you. Good morning, good morning. Okay, you can just put your questions in the chat and we'll get to them. Divine guidance. Whoa, sounds like a big deal. No, it's not a big deal. It's you. It's in here. The kingdom is within. Now, I'm not talking about church. I'm talking about you. The temple is here. This is the temple. This is the vessel. The kingdom is within here. It's not out there. It's not up there. It's in here. And it gets projected forward for you. Your life gets projected out from you, for you, not to you. If you think that life happens to you, then you're in a victim mentality. Oh, this always happens to me. Oh, that always happens to me. That happened to me. That happened to me. This happened to me. No, this happened for you. That happened for you. This happened for you. That happened for you. And sometimes when doors close, they close because you shouldn't go here. They close because when you pivot and go here, this is the one that works. This is what's working. I can't even tell you how many doors closed on me. Like that. But it didn't close on me. It closed for me. And that is divine guidance. And all you have to do is become aware. All you have to do is be aware. That's it. It's that easy. Now, what's the fastest way for a human being to raise their awareness, raise their vibration? Through their voice. Through their voice. You tune a human being the same way you tune an instrument. Through their voice. What happens? Well, awareness increases. What happens when that happens? Your frequency increases. What happens when that happens? Well, you start attracting better stuff. What else happens? Well, when that begins to happen, the same old doesn't do it anymore. Why? Because you're on a new vibration. The same old that you were used to doesn't do it for you anymore. Sometimes it irritates you. Sometimes you can't take it anymore. And you just let go. You distance yourself from it. Because you have surrendered instead of being anchored to it. Hey, Yolanda, good morning. So, what is this surrender process? It's the process of allowing. So when the ego is working and the ego is pushing and everything is push, work hard, push. Your blessings are out here, but they can't get to you. Why? Resistance is happening. This represents resistance. This represents push. This represents work hard. The universal law of rhythm tells us that there's a rhythm to everything. There's a rhythm to money. There's a rhythm to happiness. There's a rhythm to work. There's a rhythm for everything. So what is the rhythm? I'll share this with you. One of the leading quantum physicists in the world, Dr. Amit Goswami, is someone who told me something pretty profound yet very, very simple. And he said, you people in the Western world have it all wrong. He's from India. He said, you people in the Western world, you're doing it wrong. Push, 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 push. He goes, first you have to do, and then you have to be. And then do, and then be. In other words, if the be represents a timeout, if the be represents meditation, if the be represents rest, then it's all of those things. So first you do, and then you be. Doobie doobie do. There you go. That's your magic formula. Do a little bit, rest a little bit. But you have to find your rhythm. You have to find how much you do, right? That results in how much you allow. Okay, so how much you do versus what you're allowing and what the results are. Look at the results. Are you killing yourself for money? That's push, 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 push. What happens? Well, there's a vacuum on the back end. Everything is energy. If you're exerting energy this way, there's a vacuum back here. What's in that vacuum? So, the universal law of rhythm tells us that there is a rhythm to everything. You just need to find it. There is a rhythm to this one, to you, to you. How do you find your rhythm? Awareness. Pay attention. It's easy. It's easy to find your rhythm. If you listen to this more, listen to your body more, it will start telling you when enough is enough. Now, if you're in a situation where you've signed up for a job that pushes you, then maybe that's not the right job, or maybe you can find something more suitable, something that pays relatively in the same neighborhood that doesn't allow you to, or doesn't make you push, 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 push. So when you start realizing your rhythm, when you start feeling your rhythm, you go, oh, I see. So when money is going out, for example, if money is going out, blessings, Lester, blessings, blessings. Hey, Stephazy, blessings. When money is going out, money starts to go out. It's not time to push. It's not time to push. It's time to be. Be happy. It's time to get excited about things. It's time to find something that makes you happy instead of push, push, push. I gotta work harder. I'm panicking now. I don't have this. I don't have that. I need this. I need that. It's not coming. I'm push, push, push. No matter what I do, I'm pushing, pushing, pushing. And I'm working myself to death. Some people actually say that. And guess what? It becomes their reality. Why? Because it goes in their subconscious. How do you cancel something out after you've made the mistake? I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. Erase. Gone. Released. Or, if you're saying something negative about someone or something or some situation or whatever's going on, follow it up with the other side. In other words, oh, you know, Bob, he's crazy, but he's been my friend for like 30 years, and yeah, I love the guy. Follow it up with the good side. And I'll tell you why. Because the last thing you say is the first thing your subconscious remembers. First impression, last action. First impression, last action. So what do you do like when money is disappearing? Go get happy. Do something to make you happy. Thoughts bring emotions. So change your thoughts. Is it easy to change your thoughts? Yeah. Affirmation, meditation, vocalization, visualization. Yeah. I'm not here to sell you anything. I don't need anything. And you don't need anything. When you put yourself in a position of need, what you're suggesting is a lack of. There's a lack of money when you say, I need money. You can desire money. Yeah. I desire money all the time. And money comes. You don't need money. You don't need good health. You don't need that girlfriend or boyfriend or husband or wife. Because then you're being needy. Makes sense? So, what do? Well, you desire that partner. You desire love. You desire money. You desire whatever. Your new car. You desire a new car. Desire is not a negative emotion. It's not a negative feeling. It's a positive feeling. Neediness is like a sickness. It's like the plague. I need this. I need that. Think about it. I need this. I need that. I need this. I need that. You need? Really? You really need. Everything is in here. The kingdom is in here. I'll show you what I do when I want something. And it worked this week again. So these are affirmations. This is not journaling. These are affirmations. They're all dated. You see the dates on the side? Okay. This is the new one that I'm working on. And yeah, I got a ways to go. But these are affirmations. This is telling your subconscious what you want. Your subconscious takes the order. The superconscious starts working with the subconscious according to the order you gave it and starts opening doors as you take the baby steps. The universal law of action says that action is necessary. There's 12 universal laws. The universal law of action says in order to manifest anything, or let's say it another way, in order to accomplish any goal, or let's say it another way, in order to materialize out of thought, you need to take action. You know, I was very fortunate in my life at one point in my life. And I hung out with this very, very famous entertainer for 4 years. I hung out with him for 4 years, from the time I was 17 till the time I was 21. And he would always tell me, Muhammad has to go to the mountain. The mountain is not going to come to Muhammad. And I laughed when he said that because I know who Muhammad is, right? You know, and I kind of laughed and oh, that was pretty funny. But it was profound because you have to take action. There are some things that you can do without action. There are some things that you can pull in without action. Thought is action. Thought is energy. Emotion is feeling. So you can take intention with emotion and you can manifest things that way. It is possible. But the faster way is to take baby steps towards it. And you want to take baby steps, not giant steps. Don't take giant steps. Because of the amount of correction if you take the wrong step. Just little baby steps, little baby step. You take the wrong step, oh, sorry. Take the wrong step over here, oh, sorry. Not that one. Over here, oh, sorry. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. Hawaiian ho'oponopono. Very easy. Living a stress-free life is not difficult. Do things make you upset? Oh yeah. Do things make you mad? Why? Because you allow it. I allow it. Every once in a while, I allow myself to get mad. I get over it really, really quick though. Because it's not about whether you're going to get mad or not. It's not about whether you're going to get frustrated or not, because you will. You're a human being. And you have been conditioned to respond. When you do your meditation enough that you can observe a thought and allow it to pass, and observe an emotion and allow it to pass, without engaging in it. Okay, engaging with it, without being energetically tied to it. Then you're free from that reaction. Then you can observe without reacting. But most of us, myself included, right? We get that thing that's irritating that happens. And then we have to remind ourselves. And it's more important to have the ability to take the glass that's half empty and see how fast you can turn it into the glass half full. That's an important skill. It's a skill set. But when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. There's always two sides to everything. Okay, look at the other side. Flip it. So when you start talking about, epigenetics, you get into that. When you talk about, let's try to rewire our brains, that's what you're actually doing. You're changing your perception. You're firing new neurons. And then what happens? You form new neural pathways. And then what happens? Well, then now I have a whole brand new way of doing things. Now I have a whole brand new way of looking at it and accomplishing brand new results. Why? Because the definition of insanity is allowing your subconscious to do the same thing over and over and over again. And your conscious mind is expecting a better result. That's insanity. And you always want to act on intuitive thought. Why? Trust your crazy ideas. It comes from the right side. The right hemisphere of your brain, the superconscious, the intuitive thought, the creative ideas. Trust your creative ideas. They might seem crazy, right? Here's the fastest way to, let's say, not live your dreams. The fastest way. Allow your left brain to work. It will rationalize you out of your dreams. For example, you get an intuitive thought. Well, maybe I should start my own business. Maybe I should open a hot dog stand. A lot of people are hungry, and maybe I'll build one where everybody is. And then you give it some thought, And your left brain starts to rationalize and go, well, nobody in the family ever started a business before, right? Well, the last time you did something, you never followed through on it, right? You remember that? It ended in catastrophe. You remember that? And then, remember the last time you did this? And okay, so your left brain, the logic brain, the logic part of your brain, the logic hemisphere, the left side, is rationalizing all of your intuitive thought away. So the majority of my clients are women. Always have been, always will be. Because they want to work on stuff. And because they have these thoughts that are always dismissed as crazy. And I tell them to trust their crazy ideas, and it works for them. Why? Why doesn't it work without me telling them that? Well, because, they have a husband or a significant other that's a male. And men operate more from logic. They pull more left brain. At least most of them do. And they will rationalize her ideas away. In my experience in 36 years, that's what I've seen. In 36 years, I can tell you that. And they go, am I crazy? Is this a crazy idea? Like, I just want to know, is this a crazy idea? Like, I have this idea for, whatever. And then I map it out. I go, no, here's how it can work. And we map it out for her, right? And then she goes about it, right? Methodically. Women are very good at logic as well, right? Methodically, she goes, and now she starts to trust her crazy ideas, and her crazy ideas start to manifest into things, because thoughts become things. Because a belief is a thought you keep thinking. But if you dismiss it as being crazy, you dismiss it as being, that's not a good idea. It will never materialize. Why? Because you didn't take it seriously. Because it didn't go into your subconscious. Why? You dismissed it. You said, no. Bad idea. Crazy idea. Not a good idea. Trust your crazy ideas. I had some pretty crazy ideas. And they're all online. I talk about this a lot on my podcast. Trust your crazy ideas. When you start thinking about something, and then all of a sudden it happens for you, like out of the clear blue sky, and you go, wow, what happened? I thought about this is exactly what I thought about. I was thinking about this like 2 years ago, and then boom, it just happens right now. Like it just happened. Coincidence? No, you made it happen. You made it happen. The kingdom is within. The kingdom is inside. You don't need anything out here. Except maybe in nature. Maybe you want to fish. Maybe you want to hunt. Maybe you want to grow vegetables. Those things are out here. Everything else is in here. Everything is in here. The answers are in here. You just have to be still enough to ask and receive. And in between ask and receive is believe. And you have to believe in this one. Because God lives in here. When you believe in this, when you believe in you, you are now partnering with God as a co-creator. And now things start to manifest. And now things start to come into your world. And now you start to feel good because it's working. And when something goes wrong and you feel bad, this happens. And then when you feel better, it goes back. And it starts again. Because it's intention with emotion. So if the emotion is negative, if the emotion gets thrown off, if the emotion is disappointment, it starts going like this. And then you start getting happy again. It goes back like this. And then it joins again. And then it's working again. It's back again. Money's coming in again. Things are working again. The family's happy again. And then something happens. And then it's like that again. This is the law of rhythm illustrated another way. This is the universal law of rhythm. Find your rhythm. Find your rhythm, find what works, and do that. Focus on that. Reframe, refocus. Reframe, refocus. Reframe, refocus. It doesn't matter how many times you refocus. When you refocus, you refine. You do it better, right? The last time I did this, but this time I'm going to add this to it. I'm going to add a little something else to it. I'm going to add a little refocus to this. I'm going to make this a little bit better this time. And then it starts to build and it starts to gain momentum. And the blessings start to come. And I'm not talking about money blessings. I'm talking about blessings. I'm talking about the right people coming into play, because everything comes to us from God, or God through others. So if this works for you, God, okay. If this works for you, God, okay. If this works for you, God, okay. I'm not saying that you're a God. I'm saying that God lives in here. The kingdom is within. Where do you seek God? Do you seek him in the church? No, that would be seeking God with your eyes. Is church good? It's good for you if it's good for you. Of course. Because it's good to be around other people that believe the way you do. Because like attracts like. And that's why they say, if you show me your 5 closest friends, I'll tell you who you are. Because we start talking like each other. We start doing the things each other does. We have a good time with it. We have fun with it. Humans are very impressionable beings. If we're in an environment long enough, we become the environment. We become one with the environment. We adapt to the environment. It's like the soldiers. You know the soldiers that go away and they go to war and they lose a leg, sometimes 2. God forbid. But they come back and they get mechanical legs, and now they're running faster than they did before when they had real legs. They're not feeling sorry for themselves. They're making the best of what they have. But the fact that they're a human being makes them adaptable. And now they're doing really, really good with what they've been given. So ask yourself, what have I been given? You've been given blessings. You've been given this life. You live this way one time. One time this way. Make the best of it. Okay, so we're going to let go of our international audience. So we'd like to say aloha from Hawaii.